I want to get to it because I know you're a working stiff. Am I right? Are you still with the Late Late Show?
Still head writer on the Late Late Show. We wrapped up like 20 minutes ago. I took a quick shower because why do that in the morning? Time doesn't mean anything. So
Exactly.
yeah.
What is this? This is like third Saturday, right?
Third Saturday. It's also the 8th Wednesday in a row. It's everything. They built a little studio in James's garage.
Yeah, I saw that. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We saw the other shows doing where it was like, you know, you'd have Kimmel like on his couch or like Fallon like on his front porch, and we were like, that's awesome. They can do that, but our show is so glossy that it's going to be weird if we go from like this like bright shiny show that does carpool karaoke to like
right
James growing a beard in his kitchen.
Were you an athlete in high school?
I played football. I don't know if I'd call me an athlete. I was like, I had both the blessing and the curse of being like 6'3", 320 pounds from like 7th grade. I got like really big, really fast. So football was kind of like a reason for me to do that. I really enjoyed football, and I had a good time in high school, which I know is not like typical of anyone who gets into like any kind of art form. I tried to get into speech and debate. This is weird. Went to my football coach first, and I was like, hey, I'm really interested in like speech and debate and like maybe performing and stuff like that. It would mean me missing parts of practice. Are you okay with that? And my football coach was like, yeah, that would be okay. That's all right. You know, you got to do what you want to do. And then I went to the speech and debate teacher, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to be here like for everything, but I'm going to really try to commit to it, and I'm just really interested. Would that be okay? And the speech and debate teacher turned me down. Right. We were so bad at football that it was the really talented speech and debate people who were like turning us down. I was like a funny guy in class all the time, but it honestly never occurred to me as something one could do for a living. I had no idea. And it was at Portland State University. I needed an arts credit to graduate. I was a political science major. And there was a man named Scott Parker who was a professor there who taught some theater classes and also taught improv at Portland State. He's my uncle, so I took his class, and the first day, within like 10 minutes, fell in love with it. I started when I was like 25 doing stand-up.
And so you started in town here?
In Portland, and it was at the beginning of like Portland starting to have kind of a bigger comedy scene. I was lucky enough with the Bridgetown Comedy Festival coming into town and Helium Comedy Club opening, and they were bringing in like really good comedians who were of interest to me. So I sort of got to be lucky enough to sort of help build that wave, but also help ride the wave that other people were building at the same time. With stand-up, it's like a cilantro thing. You know what I mean? Like some people taste soap when they eat cilantro. Some people think it's delicious. And with stand-up with me, it was like I got up there and I was like, oh, this is delicious. I love this. People want to know how you can get better, and I wish there was some secret. All it is watch as much as you can, perform as much as you can, write as much as you can, and repeat that. I mean, if like entertainment is a field you want to get into, and whether it's writing movies or whatever, like the biggest thing you could do is to work hard. And I know that's like a bummer thing to say, like, or almost like it's like eye rolly, like how obvious it seems, but like there were people who were funnier than me in Portland. There were a lot of people who were like funnier than me. Not a lot, but like that's lying. But like there were definitely stand-up comedians as funny or funnier than me when I was starting out in Portland. The difference is the work you put in. You have to. There is no substitute for it. That's the only way. That, or if your dad is also famous. Those are the only two ways.
Is there a line you won't cross?
It's an interesting question, and one that like the entire time I've been doing comedy has been like a big conversation in comedy. I don't think there is a too far you can go, and I don't think people are being really censored. The way I look about content is almost the way like you look at like who has the ability to file a lawsuit. Like I could come up with something that I think is like really funny about like what black women go through. You know what I mean? But like who the wants to hear it from me? You know what I mean? Like that's not, I don't have standing. I don't like what experience do I have to draw from to talk about that? I don't. Why would I even talk about it? That's my own personal point of view. If something is making you laugh, it's because it's somehow true. Like in some way it's somehow true, and it somehow makes the feeling of being human feel like less isolating and alone, you know?
Thank you so much. You've been very generous. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have fun. Be yourself. Work hard. That's all you can do.